Wow, there's so much to be thankful for in this season, right? There's people in our lives that we don't even know are going to be in our lives, that are touching our lives, connecting with us, and we just want to appreciate that. I'm just glad that all of you are here too, also the Roach family, and Amy brought her family here. So we're glad to have you all here this morning with us. We're glad that all of you jumped in on Facebook. Hello, everybody. Can we all say hello to everybody online? Hello. So we have this growing community both physically and virtually, and we're glad to be with you today. Today we are continuing on this idea of everyday faith. Everyday faith, a faith that we can take with us, that's practical, that affects your day-to-day life. We know that God does big, great, miraculous things, but sometimes we don't notice the big, miraculous things that happen in plain and ordinary ways. And so we want to bring our attention to our everyday faith. And we're glad we just finished off Thanksgiving. I hope you all enjoyed Thanksgiving. It was different this year, maybe. But anyways, we're glad we could celebrate it. And today we're talking about giving value, showing appreciation, giving value. How do we give the proper value to one another? How do we recognize the value that one another brings into our life? And there's an important thing that each one of us can practice. And it is as simple as saying thank you. You know, these two little words sound very small, sound very insignificant. It's something we were taught when we were 4 years old, that you got to say thank you when someone gives you something, right? And it kind of just gets stuck in our head, and we almost miss how valuable these words are. These words really mean you matter. I appreciate that you are here, that you thought of me. I love you, and you matter. Right? When you're sitting at the dinner table and your mom picks up all the dishes, throws them in the dishwasher, and takes care of everything, and you say thank you, you're recognizing all the love that she puts into you every single day. When Dad comes home from work and you give him a big hug and a kiss and say, thanks for going out to work, it's saying thank you, I appreciate you, you matter, you're valuable to my family. When your brother or sister comes over to help you move your house, right, and you say thanks so much, thank you for coming over here, you're saying, I recognize you, I'm not taking you for granted, but I see that you have added benefit to my life, that I can count on you, rely on you, and you matter. Even when you're checking out at the grocery store, you say, thank you to that poor clerk that's been working a long shift. I said thank you to a guy on Thanksgiving Day at CVS. I had to get ice cream for the kids. And I just felt like, oh, this is so lonely to be working on Thanksgiving like that. But he was there nonetheless, and he did his best, and so I said thank you, and I hope I cheered him up. It seemed really rough. His day he looked tired, you know. And that thank you was recognizing the value that he went out of his way to be there for me today. And of course he's paid to do it, but it doesn't hurt to recognize the human value that's all around us. So this is what thank you really means. When we are saying thank you, we are giving that value, putting it in its place. It's also like saying we like you too. I'm going to switch mics. We're going to turn that one off. It's a hit or miss recently. All right. And I want to appreciate you by not having a squeak in the background. Today we want to say we like you too. So when someone gives something to you, when they do something for you, what are they doing? They're saying, I like you. I value you. I appreciate you. So I'm going to make you coffee this morning, right? I'm going to make you a sandwich as I'm making my own, right? They're saying, I like you, I value you, and I want to give you something. So when I say thank you, I'm saying, well, I like you too, right? I appreciate you. You're a good pal, you're a good friend, you're a good spouse, you're a good kid. Thanks for thinking about me. So this is what we're really saying when we're using these words like thank you and you're welcome. Now I lost my clicker. Ooh. All right. In 1 John 4:19 it says, we love each other because he loved us first. Right? This verse goes on and on about how God's love is trying to be perfected in us as we grow closer to God and follow his commandments and live out his word in our deed, in our actions, in our day-to-day life. God's love is perfected inside of us, that we become perfected through his love, that our ability to give and receive love becomes perfected, it becomes mature, it grows. We understand more the true value of love, right? We understand more how to give it, and we understand more how to receive it. And why do we do it? We love others because of the love that we've received. It's a natural response. It's a natural reaction to the affection, the attention that we have received. And so when we recognize the abundant love of God, when we see all the blessings in our life, when we look back at this Thanksgiving time and we go, wow, look at my life. You know, I had all these opportunities, all these people that invested in me. Right? When we recognize all this, we recognize the value that God has placed in our life, and then we naturally respond by loving the others that God put into our life. We love others because he loved us first, because he chose to invest into us. And so this natural response is to look out for God's kids, look out for the ones that God loves and cares about, and think, how can I help God? Well, it's by acknowledging those around me. But we need to put it in words. How often do we forget to verbalize our gratitude? Right? And for each one of us, right? How many times has someone done something for you, and maybe it's because they do it every single day for you? You think, well, I said thank you last week. Right? If you ask my wife, if I said I love you last week, isn't that enough? You already know it, right? That wouldn't be enough, right? I thank you, we have to do every single day, and we have to do it often. We have to recognize one another with a verbal response, with a written or a gesture that signifies, I acknowledge this gift you gave. You took time out of your day. You thought of me when writing this note. You thought of me when making my lunch. You thought of me when you prepared this meal, right? You thought of me when you looked at my outfit and said, hey, that was a great outfit. I really like what you wore today. Hey, you did a great job on that Excel spreadsheet. I like, you had good columns and rows, and they all kind of matched up, right? When you're acknowledging these things, when you're verbalizing them, you're putting value to them, right? And you make sure that these people don't walk away looking back and going, I guess no one liked my spreadsheet this week. I worked really hard on that, right? But then someone walks up and goes, oh, yeah, thanks for that. It made it all clear. Now you know, and that value is passed on to you. So we need to make sure that we verbalize it or write it down or make some kind of gesture to show that we appreciated it, right? That we valued that effort that they made. This is something we forget a lot, especially when you are in a family, right? How easy it is to take for granted. Hey, my kids are supposed to clean up after themselves, so do I need to say thank you, right? That's their chore, right? They better, right? Instead, we can go and go, hey, thanks, I really appreciate it. You put the pillows in the right spot, and that was a great little effort there. Right? And when we acknowledge it, they feel valued. They feel like, hey, what I did, it made mom and dad happy. What I did for my spouse today, bring that cup of coffee and put it in enough sugar. And he said, oh, it was sweet today, honey. That was great. Now they go, oh, wow. I'm really valued. I'm appreciated. But so often we forget to verbalize it. And so today is a reminder, right? There's all these things we're grateful for. This last week we were looking at all the things we're grateful for. Today's about now putting it into practice and acknowledging those people. And it's a natural, universal principle. God created this principle of give and receive, give and take, right? When someone invests time in you, when they give you something, right, you are stimulated in some sense, right? Some way. You feel like you're taken care of, right? And the natural response is to go, wow, that was really great. And then you give something back. You return something. Maybe it's just a smile. Maybe you return beauty, as we say, right? Some kind of reflection of that gift that we were given. That investment comes up on my face and I smile and I go, wow, You see a kid opening their presents and you see them light up and you go, wow, that's what I was waiting for. I was waiting to hear them yell out, wow, this is what I always wanted. There's some birthday parties I've been to and I see kids, every single present they open up, they go, oh my goodness, this is what I always wanted. And then they get the next one and they go, oh my goodness, this is what I really wanted. I go, wow, they wanted everything. That's great, But every giver in that room feels so awesome, right? They feel like, wow, yeah, my little 20 minutes at Target really paid off, right? That little extra money that I threw into this gift really made a difference. And we appreciate it. We are excited about it, right? For all of us, we want to have this recognition, this connection. It's this effort, this circular motion, right? That gives birth to greater and greater joy that goes for richer and richer relationships. So when you receive something, you have this response, this desire to make a response. Sometimes we feel it and we go, we just kind of go on with our day. But sometimes we feel it and we go, oh, wow, she was so nice to me today. I got to go to the store and pick her up some flowers, right? I feel like I've got to show something to my wife today. Maybe, your husband worked extra hard in the lawn, and then he comes in and you go, oh, I've got a nice ice cold glass of iced tea, and let me give you a massage, and let's watch your favorite thing tonight, right? And you're showing that affection, that appreciation, and it stimulates him, and he goes, oh, wow, maybe I'll cut the grass more often, right? You're stimulating, you're encouraging, you're reinforcing that behavior, but you're also showing love. It's not just a gimmick to try and get them to do more, but it's a way of really appreciating and showing them that I'm so glad you are in my life. And what happens, though, when we don't respond, right? Because that often happens, right? Sometimes you give something to someone, right? You've been really thinking about it maybe, and you give it to them, and it's just kind of flat. They go, oh, okay. And they walk on, right? I'm sometimes that way. I don't always know how to respond, right? So thanks so much. I don't want to overdo it and make you feel overwhelmed and blush or something. Oh, okay, thank you. But what happens when you don't really respond? Right? You stop that cycle, right? There's this give and take relationship that's trying to happen. There's God's force, His energy, His love is trying to pour through this person and get it over to you. And it's all been building up for years and years. God was waiting to put that person in your life to give you that card, and you receive it, and you go, okay, thanks, that's another card. And you go on, right? And the person goes, ouch. Right? Do I matter to you? Did this make a difference? Should I keep doing this? Maybe you didn't really like it. I mean, I don't need to go out of my way next time. Suddenly you've cut off this relationship, this energy that's trying to build up, this natural thing that's supposed to bring unity and love into this world. And so bringing value and returning value is an important thing that God put into this universe. And we need to recognize how important these two little words are. Thank you. Because they connect the circuit. They complete it so that there's another round, another opportunity, another chance to give and receive love. And then our love is perfected. Right? But how does it feel, right? When you've worked really hard and you picked out the perfect present and then they don't acknowledge it, you might feel hurt, right? You might even feel angry. You might feel like you don't want to have this relationship. Like, why am I even investing in you? It's hard, right? You work all day and then this is my thing. I work all day. I'm making a big, nice meal, right? And I put it on the table, and then the kids go, can we get some chicken nuggets or something? Oh, but then I realize, I'm like, well, he's 5 years old. Like, how can he appreciate this kind of food? That's okay. And I'm okay with that. But, you know how it feels, right? To work at something, or maybe even it's a regular thing. I'm at my office day in and day out. I show up on time. I leave when I'm supposed to leave. I do everything the right way. And my boss just never acknowledged me. Never once said thanks or good job or I really appreciate the way you're always working extra, putting extra effort in. I appreciate the way that you're making other people feel good in this office. And you keep trying and trying and trying. And of course you're not working just for his approval. But if he would just say one time, it would make a world of difference, right? It would change your heart. It would change your lifestyle, right? They say often that people don't leave a job, they leave the culture or the people there, right? Because we're not acknowledged in our families.
in our neighborhood, in our community. We go in, we make that extra effort, and nobody even seems to notice. And it might not even be that you're that mad. You might just go, hey, well, I've got this effort, I've got this energy, I've got these ideas. If you guys don't need them, well, I can bring them elsewhere, right? I'll find somewhere where it's going to add value. I just want to bring this out into the world. But you're stopping that energy flow when you don't acknowledge other people, when we don't address them, when we don't appreciate them. So this last week, we went through the list of everything we're grateful for, right? You might have even made a list, right? And wrote down the names of people that invested into your life, written down about going to college, written down about the job you have, and the skills that you've learned, and the opportunities you've had. You might have written this list and thought, oh wow, I'm grateful for all these things. And now is the time to put it in action, to go, hey, I'm doing a shout out today. All the people that invested into my life, everybody that's touched me in some way, I want you to know that it's not forgotten, it's not missed. I acknowledge it, I appreciate it, and I love you. And this changes the whole thing. So if we're grateful, if we're thankful, if we look at our life in any which way, we go, hey, I'm actually kind of blessed in that way, then let's verbalize it, acknowledge it, and appreciate it. Father Moon said, a dog or a tree, anything in the universe which you touch with a loving heart will appreciate your love. When you look at nature, you should realize that everything is a gift from God. Right? I've got cats that come into my backyard, and they always come up, and I'm not a cat person, but they love to just rub up on my legs. And sometimes I'm walking, and they run in front of me, and I'm tripping, and they just want to be touched, right? They just want a little affection. They want someone to appreciate them. To go, hey, yeah, I'm cute, look at me. And they move their bodies around, and then you get down, and they make the little sounds, right? And you go, oh, okay, yeah. It's just been waiting for love. It's a natural desire, right? We want to be appreciated. We want to be valued. We want to not be taken for granted. That tree out in the yard that's been blooming all nice all year, and you go up and you touch it. Wow. Thank you, tree. You gave me shade this summer. You have these beautiful flowers. I really love them. All creation is waiting, right? It's longing for the returning of the lords of creation, for us to acknowledge and appreciate them. So all universe is waiting for this acknowledgement. But imagine the people, right? Imagine all the people in this world that are longing for your loving touch, that are longing for you to appreciate them, to acknowledge them, to say, wow, I really like how you brewed that coffee today. It got me going, right? I really like how you helped out at work and you did that extra effort, right? These little things, everybody's waiting for that acknowledgement, that attention. God gave us all these gifts, and He's waiting for that acknowledgement as well, right? And it's this appreciation, this attention. So whether it's an animal that's waiting to be pet, whether it's a flower that's waiting to be sniffed, or a person that's waiting for your full attention. And I'm talking about giving that value, that appreciation to them. That's like I'm going to put my cell phone down to look at you and talk to you kind of attention, right? That's that little extra effort that says, hey, you matter. There's even a way they encourage to do it. You take your phone and you flip it screen side down. Like that's full attention. That's, I love you, you matter, you are important to me kind of conversation. And this is what people are looking for. When you're going to talk to them, you look them in the eye. You make them feel like they're the only person in this world right now. For the next 6 minutes, you're going to be the only thing I'm listening to, the only thing I'm acknowledging. That 6 minutes is such a gift. It's a thing that many people may never ever get in their life. How many kids have I run into, right? And I'm playing with them and I notice that, man, this kid must not get a lot of attention because they're like all over me and they're like, wow, for 5 minutes this guy is playing with me and doing everything. And I'm glad I'm there. It makes me sad too, though, to really think like, wow, this person must not get a lot of attention, that they need to be on me like this right now. But this is what people are looking for. A moment when someone says you are valuable, even if it's just in the look of you give them, the smile you put on your face. They look at you and they go, wow, I'm seen. I'm important. Not forgotten. We never know what that one look, that one smile will do. In 1 Thessalonians 5:11, it says, therefore, encourage one another and build one another up, just as you are doing. This was an encouragement that we go out and we say words to affirm one another, to build each other up. How many of us are feeling a heavy burden today that if someone would just come over to us and encourage us and build us up, we could go through the next day. We could go, hey, you know what? Monday is not going to be so bad. People are waiting to be encouraged. Your brothers and sisters in this room are waiting for that acknowledgement, that build-up word that will say, wow, if I show up on Monday morning, it's going to change my office space. It's going to change my school. It's going to change my family. If I show up, it's going to make a difference. So he's encouraging us as believers, start building one another up. Don't tear each other down, but use words to appreciate the little things we're doing right. And who knows, you might even see 10 things someone's doing wrong. But instead of pointing out those 10 things, look for that one thing. Hey, I really like the way that you're sitting today. In Lena's classrooms, right, they always had this thing. It was, you have all these kids jumping around, and you have one kid sitting, crisscross applesauce on the ground. And got all this chaos over here. And then you just turn to the one kid and go, Johnny, I really like the way you're sitting. He's really doing a great job, right, guys? And all the other kids go, oh, hey, look at me, look at me. They're waiting for that acknowledgement, that appreciation, that attention. But although we look older and we have a few gray hairs maybe, we're still those little kids inside that are looking for that attention, that appreciation. You might feel you've grown up beyond it, but man, look out the next time someone looks at you, looks you in the eye and says, thank you. I'm so glad you were here today. Don't you just perk up a little bit, right? Feeling good, feeling appreciated. It's a faithful thing, an everyday faith kind of thing to do. Encourage, build one another up. And thank you is not just a polite thing. It's not just something that you're supposed to do to follow the etiquette, right? To be a good-mannered person. Thank you, if you haven't already gotten it, is a way of saying, I love you, and you matter. So the next time that you're sitting at the dinner table, the next time you're out at the grocery store, think about that. It's not just a polite thing to do. It's not just being a Southern gentleman or a Southern lady or a Yankee gentleman, whatever it is, right? You're giving value. It's an act of love. It's a God-honoring activity. It's a way of worshiping God, the Creator, who loved you, that chose you, that blessed you, and now you have a chance, an opportunity to connect that circuit and go, God, I feel your love. Now I'm going to pass it on to the barista. And that barista is going to walk away going, wow, something magical just happened. I even messed up his order. He still said thank you. What? Imagine that, right? So tips on saying thank you. I want to give you a few tips before we head out here today. First, do it now. This is one thing I noticed. If I don't do it immediately, when I notice it, when I notice that someone did something well, when they made an extra effort, when they helped me out, if I don't do it right away, it's going to sit as a nice idea, and I'm going to say, I'm going to write that email tomorrow. Tomorrow morning is busy. And I go, well, tonight before I go to sleep. You lose your opportunity, so do it now. Appreciate these people while they're right in front of you. Go up to them and go, wow, that really made my day. I need to stop you and let you know that effort was everything. You're awesome. Do it now. Be specific. Right? Sometimes we just say thanks. It's nice, right? But when we get more specific, we get to the heart of the person, right? Well, thanks so much for cleaning up the table, right? For cleaning up our kitchen, for making that extra effort. And it goes on to go to 3, which is be personal about it. When you cleaned it up, it really made me feel like you appreciate my cooking today, right? Yeah, I felt that love. I felt it when you cleaned up, and now we could sit together as a family. We could play a board game on a clean table. I didn't have to worry about getting the cards and any sauces, right? Because you cleaned it up. I really appreciate you for cleaning up, because now my family feels like we can sit down and use this table. You know how much of a difference that makes? These little steps, doing it right away, making it very specific, and making it personal, how it affected you, how it changed your environment. And finally, do it often. Repeat, right? Look for opportunities. Maybe even go out of your way to look for opportunities. You might not notice the little things people are doing in your life, so go out of your way and make sure you do it often. And you'll start recognizing, wow, hey, we're actually one big old family here, right? We're all in this together, helping one another, appreciating, encouraging, lifting each other up. And the more we do it, the more people seem to respond and go out of their way. Can you imagine if you spoke to your kids every day and acknowledged each good thing they did? How much cleaner their room might be? I'm taking notes myself. You know how much cleaner their room might be, how much more they might finish up their food or put their plate away after, how much more they might think about what they wear before they walk out the door. Because they've been acknowledged, they've been appreciated, and they go, hey, that felt pretty good. I want to feel like that again. I'm going to go out and be good too. Right? We're encouraging, building up one another, lifting each other up. And when we make these steps and these efforts to saying thanks, you matter, I love you, we're changing the world. It's the little things. It's everyday things. Finally, I wanted to leave you with this. Everything started out from love. That love is a goal and direction for all things. Can you imagine from the very beginning, God came up with all this energy. It was all bursting, all these ideas, all these feelings, all these emotions he had. And then he blew it up into love. And he goes, this is sending out into the universe. I'm going to create all things for this one day opportunity when these two people can meet and they can fall in love. They can have kids. Wow, that's going to be amazing. It all moves in this direction. God gave everything in creation to be gifts of love. And when you realize this, and live your life in appreciation of God's love, then you shall be glorious when you go before the throne of God. That we are building up in our appreciation in the life of gratitude. That we're acknowledging this and we're feeling this from God. We're going, wow, God thought of me today. Oh, look, this flower reminds me of God's love for me. Hey, look, my kids hugged me this morning. That reminds me that God loves, hey, this neighbor of mine, they walked up and they waved to me, and I'm reminded of God's love. And now I'm going to live that out in appreciation in my daily effort. So today I want to finally leave us with, I keep saying this, but this acknowledgement of God. During this week, we've been appreciating our family. We've been appreciating things that are in our life, gifts that are in our life, job opportunities, a roof over our head. But let's bring it up to the creator, the originator, the author of all this love, of all this goodness in your life. Bringing it up to God and going, God, I recognize the way my wife looked at me today, and that I know is coming from you. There's no other reason she would look at me like that. Wow, But God is acknowledging us and appreciating us, so let us give that acknowledgement up to God. To live a life where we're recognizing His divine love for us, that He moves mountains for us every day. We might not even notice it, but God is invested in you, has been invested in you since before you were born. That God has been raising you up, putting people in your life, giving you another chance and another opportunity. You might have messed up some of those relationships that God was trying to put love into your life. But you know what? God sent another one, and another one, and another one. Because He cares about you. He loves you. So we want to send that appreciation back to God. And how can we do that? We need to be after the things that God is after. Care about the things that God cares about. Be a man after God's own heart. So in my appreciation, my love for God, when I acknowledge what He is doing in my life, I go, okay, God, I'm going to start caring about the things that you care about. I'm going to care about your dream and make it my dream. I'm going to care about reconciliation and make it my dream. I'm going to care about reuniting people and absolving the pain and hurts that have been in this world. I'm going to start changing the way that I love my kids and I love my wife and I love my community, because I know you care about them and you want to reach out to them and you want to pour your love into this person right now. And God, I'm going to be your conduit going forward. I'm going to make that transformation. I'm going to give it up to you, God, because I know that you always have me. You've always been after me. And you're also after these people. And if I'm that opportunity, if I'm that chance, if I'm that person that you're putting in their way today, let it be me, God. Let it be me. So I'm going to be after God's dream. I'm going to make it my own. An appreciation and an acknowledgement of Him. I'm not going to let these gifts slip away. I'm not going to let God feel another day like He's not looking for any. Oh, He doesn't. You don't owe Him nothing, but He's going, I really wish they'd appreciate it. It really make my day, right? Just like a parent. I mean, I'm not going to charge my kid, but man, it'd be great if they just looked up and said thank you. And that's what our acts of love are all about to God. You guys, wow, you finally get it. I'm so glad you're here. So this week, whatever you're doing, whatever you're about, whether you're going to the coffee shop, say I thank you. When you see that postman worker coming around delivering their 700th packet for the day, say thank you, I appreciate you. When you're going to the health clinic to get checked up, say thank you, I appreciate you showing up today. When you're at your work and your boss gives you a check, you go, thank you for acknowledging me and appreciating me today. When you come home from work and you see your neighbor out walking his dog, say, thanks so much for picking it up after your dog, right? Thank you so much for being a good neighbor. Thank you so much for taking care of your home, because it makes me feel good. When you see your family, the people you love, the people that you should value the most, don't let a moment slip away without them walking away going, wow, I didn't really make a difference today. Instead, lift them up, encourage them, and love them. Go to your children, say thank you for being here in my life. Go to your spouse, say thank you. Look them in the eyes and appreciate specifically and personally what they're doing in your life. You are God's conduits of love. Let His energy flow through you. Let's change this world with acts of everyday faith. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here with me today. I appreciate each one of you for letting us have this service this morning. And I want to ask that we come in prayer now before God. We could just close our eyes and open our hearts. God, we love you. Quite simply, we love you. We appreciate you. God, sometimes we feel unworthy. Sometimes we feel broken. Yet you still love us. Sometimes we are mean-spirited. We are hurtful. We are angry, God, but still you love us. God, sometimes we mess up. But still, you love us. And today, we want to acknowledge you. We want to appreciate you, God. You are here in this world trying to change it, trying to shape it up, trying to lift it up, God. And we want to appreciate and acknowledge your efforts. As your sons and daughters today, we want to commit to making an effort to share that love with others. To open up people's eyes, to help them see the value that you have placed in their lives, God. Let us open our hearts, open our eyes, and look for ways that we can go out into this world and be your ambassadors this week, to lift up those that are poor in spirit, to encourage those that are sick, to lift up those that don't feel like they can make another step this week, God. We sit here blessed, but we know that there are people in depression, people that are ready to give it all up. Walk away from their marriages, walk away from their families, walk out on their jobs, walk out on this life, God. But you put us out there to give hope, and to give love. God, give us courage. Give us a reminder this week to be that hope, to be that love, to be that one that can appreciate and give value to those around us. God, we thank you. We want to offer this Sunday to you with gratitude and love in our hearts. God, we pour this all out to you. As your sons and daughters, we love you and we pray these things. Amen. So I just want to ask that we come together and we come to God right now in a unison prayer. Lift up your voices. Share what's on your heart. Thank you for giving me this morning that I can feel appreciated and acknowledged, God, that I can feel that what I'm doing matters, God. And that we as a community can start lifting each other up, God. I love these people. I appreciate it. I thank you for putting them in the hands of you. God, we thank you so much. We thank you. Just be with our parents. Be with this world. Let us share your truth of this world.
Thanksgiving, get ready for Christmas, and just prepare our hearts and valuing all those people in our lives. We'd love to pray for you. Let us know if there's something we can pray for you that's on your heart. We thank you for all your contributions, giving online or here at our tithing box over here. It really makes such a difference and helps us in our ministry. And we also look forward to seeing you next Sunday. We'll start a new sermon series, Gifts from God, for December. So thank you for worshiping with us today.
Thank you. And we also want to give you time for a prayer share. We just switched it around a little bit for all of our online audience as well. But we would like to open up that you can find a friend, a family member, or a table to sit at and share about a few things. We're going to give a few minutes. We will give you an out, but if you'd like to continue on your share, you can. But we will give like a time where we'll say, thanks so much, and then you can stop or you can keep going. So, a few things. Find a table, find a friend. What are ways that you feel valued? What are some things that, when someone says thank you, it means something to you? Different people are different, right? Like acts of love or the words of acknowledgement or gifts. Who is someone you would want to make sure that they know their value today? So, or anything from this message. So you can take a moment, share this message. It's a way you can bless one another. And this is one of our favorite times of service. So join on in, and thank you so much. God bless you all.
Thanks so much, everybody, for joining us. We want to encourage you this week. If there's anything that we can do for you, please let us know. Write a message to us, comment, share with us. We'd love to pray for you, support you. And we just really appreciate you being here today. You are so loved by God, and we love you because of that, because we know how much God sees in you. We want to encourage that today. So thanks so much. God bless you all, and see you next week.